I'm Elif. I'm from Istanbul, Turkey, and I have moved to Denmark, Esbjerg, a year and a half ago. I'm 28 years old.
And why did you decide to move to Esbjerg?
There are family reasons too, but I think mainly I moved here to have a better life and start something new here. I've lived in Stengårdsvej exactly 1 year. I got the flat, I think it was like the first few weeks. I moved to my brother's house first, and then I was looking for an apartment. I visited all the companies in Esbjerg, and they all said they don't have any apartments available. And the only available apartments were only in Stengårdsvej. And I said yes to that because I needed a place to live, and I get it that way. And as soon as I told my new friends that I'm moving to Stengårdsvej, I found a flat, and it's in Stengårdsvej. They always say that, oh, this is the ghetto, and I was like, ghetto here in Denmark? And they said yes, it's really like heavy ghetto. And I'm like, are you sure it's like heavy ghetto for me? I'm from Istanbul, 16 million people living there. And I've seen a lot of things. And they said oh yeah, it's so scary there. And I moved there first few weeks, and I was like, this is scary. And even now, I'm like, is this scary? No. I think it's just strange to see all the young people get together, 10, 15, and it's probably weird for Danish people or to see this view, right? I don't know. Maybe they find it dangerous, but for me, no. I have been living there, I think, for 6 months, and then we decided to get a car. And as soon as we get the car, I faced all the disadvantages before I didn't know. But when I was trying to make an insurance on the car, they said I have to pay double. And I asked why. And this is ridiculous. This is so expensive. And they said, because you live in a dangerous place, you're living in Stengårdsvej, which is called ghetto. And that's why you have to pay more, because it's not safe for your car over there. And I'm like, really? And they said there is no other way. Just because my address was there, I have to pay more. And also, after we get our car, my friends started to warn me about getting a double fine or higher fines around the neighborhood, because I think police is trying to teach or educate the people over there, and that's why they give higher fines to be scared, which I was. Nothing happened, it was all safe, and I was always following the rules anyway, so it was just making me nervous that something is going to happen because I pay higher, but nothing happened. For me, I knew it from the beginnings, and I was ready for it, because they told me we can only give the apartment for you only a year, and I was like, all right, I have to find another apartment but at least a year I'm safe. But when we moved there, I met my neighbors, which they were living there for a longer time period than me. My next door neighbor were living there for 20 years. This flat meant nothing to me. It's just a house, temporary house that I was just staying, passing by. But for this neighbor that I had, it was a home, and he was connected to it emotionally. So at one point we visited him with my friend, and my friend asked how is it to live there, and he got so emotional and he was going to cry if we didn't stop him and everything. And then I realized, even though it's just a flat for me that I pass by, for other people who live there very long time, it is very disappointing and sad to not get any real answer, because afterwards we realized the building is not going to turn apart, and it's postponed. It's the date is never sure. No one knows what's going to happen. So imagine you're living in this unclear circumstances. How would you feel? It's just terrible. That's why we moved there. be moved from there, because some people also told me this plans and everything has been there for a long time, which never happened. But I didn't want to feel where I feel unsecure of my future, because I didn't know if I was going to live there or not. And the contracts were always just like for 6 months. They said we can sign it again, but it's only for 6 months. And I said, okay, I need to find another apartment. Now I live in the center, and nearby there's no big park like we had in Stengårdsvej. And in this big park I could get a chance to meet a Turkish auntie. We call it auntie in Turkish, because someone older than you is always auntie, female of course. And I had the chance to meet with people and then feel welcomed and see their culture and everything. But now I don't have it, which I miss a lot. And I miss to see other cultures and how they are like spending their times, because the park is huge, and like almost all of the summer nights people gather there, which I don't see that crowd in the center. And they gather, they play their music, and they are just play games which related to their cultures and everything, and always a warm smile over there. It's just so rich, the area, and I miss that, my night walks around the park. Yeah, I do not miss the mess the young kids were doing. Just next to my high building there was a park, and they were doing a lot of mess in this park, which I do not miss. Also my bike stolen. But now that I know, I think it's not special to the area, and everywhere people's bikes are stolen around Denmark, which I didn't know back then. I was thinking, no, this happened just because we live in ghetto. But now I know it's just not especially for the ghetto. In my opinion, Stengårdsvej has a rich potential. It should be used because so many cultures live there, and people from all over the world. You don't have to go abroad. Now I don't have to go abroad. I just take a walk in Stengårdsvej Park, and I see so many cultures, and I witness their style of living, which is so rich because you don't get to see it in the center. And I think there's a high potential, but it should be used, not just torn apart and send people away out of Esbjerg. Stengårdsvej is for me the first warm hug when I came to Denmark that I felt. I felt a bit more like I'm home. I didn't feel Turkey. I didn't miss Turkey that much because I get a chance to meet another auntie in the park, which was lovely. And that's why I think it was the first warm hug for me, Stengårdsvej, which there will always be a part in my heart for Stengårdsvej.